Hi, today we want to talk to you about petunias, and first I'm just going to talk to you about maybe there's some different types of petunias. There's many different types. And then we're going to talk briefly about how to take care of your petunias, feeding and pinching and watering, and then you should have some really nice looking plants. So first, this right here in the basket is some super petunias. They say super petunias because they just grow so much compared to maybe a petunia that you might buy in a pack that would typically come in a flat. Like annuals, the same in flower size and all that, but what you buy in a pack, they just stay small. They're just going to form a nice little mound by the end of the year. There's only 3 plants in this basket, and this basket, if it's fed and taken care of the right way, which is not a major thing, but you just got to know what to do, this will be hanging way down to here, full bloom all summer, right to frost. Now, as it gets into late fall, you start to slow down on the flowers. But this will go right to frost. There's many different colors. It comes in reds and whites and purples and pinks, and here we just did a combination in this basket. And I also want to mention there's many different types. Now you can see this is much smaller. This is called tiny tunia. The flower is smaller, almost kind of like a million bell size. This will not trail down like what you see here. So if you happen to get this plant and you're hoping for that effect, it just won't happen. So this is going to form a nice tidy look. It'll mound down, kind of billow over the edge, and that's about it. In the landscape, one plant, it's probably 3, there's 3 in this basket. One plant would get a little bit bigger than what you see right here. So if you want a petunia that gets a little bit bigger than what you buy in a pack, but you don't want something huge, maybe if you're lining some plants along a walkway, and you don't want just creeping over everything, this would be a nice. This is another type of super petunia. This was just planted later. You can see there's 3 plants in here that give you a nice big full basket. But what I want to talk to you about is pinching petunias. Now this one, tiny petunia, because it grows a little smaller, nice and tight, you don't really have to pinch it much at all. But plants like this, any of the wave petunias and avalanches, easy wave and tidal wave, and this, the list goes on and on. Any of those fast growing petunias, you need to pinch them, at least in the beginning, to get them going. So what I'll do is, as you can see, there's no flowers on this. To me, this is you might think it's looking pretty good, it's already trailing down. As a grower, I'd say this is not good. At least this is not what you want as a young petunia. I'd give it a pinch right here. And I'm just cutting the ends. I'm not doing it in an exact spot per se, but I am taking a good inch off the plant. I don't need to come all the way back here on the stem. You know, if you cut off a lot, you're cutting off this branch and that little shoot and this shoot and that one and that one. You've cut off about 10 shoots. So really all you want to do is come back about 1 inch, as long as you get the growing part of the plant. If you cut it not enough, you just cut that little end, you might not cut the actual growing part of the plant, and it won't have the effect. So you just come back 1 inch so you know you're getting the stem, cut it off. Now if this plant part was still in the plant, you'd have all these other shoots. And what the pruning does is it will generate all these little shoots that are on the side of the stem. Now instead of growing out, it's going to force all these side shoots to come out. And that takes a little while, but in another couple of weeks you're going to see this just full of shoots. You don't have this long, stringy, leggy plant. Now eventually these shoots will come out, but it's going to take much longer. So if you just cut the end off this, and that will promote all these side shoots, and then actually back in the center of the plant it will promote more growth, and that will just create a much fuller plant. Probably something more like what you see right here. Again, even at this stage, you can go through systematically, not a lot, and pinch off quite a bit and not even notice much of a difference. I can take off 1 shoot, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots, and you don't notice a thing. But nine cuttings off this plant will slowly keep generating more shoots that you don't hardly see until they start popping out. And about every 2-3 weeks you can go around, probably take 15 little snips off your plant. Just an inch down, you're taking a few flowers off, but you're not going to even notice. But this will generate a really good plant. But watering your plant, now when your plant's really dry, if it's hanging up on a post, on your porch, if you pick up on it and it's really light, it's probably going to need at least about a half a gallon of water if you want to put in slowly. If it's really dry, you pour the water in, you're going to see it run right out of the bottom. That's probably, that means it's really dry, so you want to wait about half an hour, add some more water, and that water will then absorb in and collect in the pot. What happens is you add a little water, the dirt will expand, and then you won't get it running right out the bottom of the pot. So when you pick up on it, if you're not sure if it's dry, if you pick up and it's really heavy, then you know it's wet. What you really need to do with petunias is feed them. Encourage you to use some Miracle-Gro, 1 teaspoon per gallon, about every 10 days. These just grow so much. When they're growing so much, they use up a lot of food. So it's important to feed them at least every 10 days during the summer. That just promotes the flower growth and the other growth. And then with some pinching, you're going to end up with a really good basket. Also, these do need quite a bit of sun, so if you don't have enough sun, they will start to kind of peter out too. So with your feeding and your pinching, you should have in full sun, you should have a really good basket throughout.